That's all I have to say. They just can't keep quiet about it. There will soon be a greater demand than there has been for Bitcoin and XRP. We're going to watch a video featuring Matt Hugin, the CEO of Bitwise, as well as Cathie Woods, the CEO of AR Capital, discussing the private meetings we discussed that we never hear about. As I always mention, I think we may have just put something together here, albeit in two different scenarios in two different videos, one by Cathie Wood and the other by Mr. Matt. However, from what I'm hearing, they're prepared, and they're expecting a significant amount of money to just pour into this cryptocurrency ecosystem. Let me first show the short clip that Cathie made, and I'll include what Matt said, just a snippet of it. I'll go into the full video of what Matt said regarding the demand for Bitcoin, and after that, I want to talk about the XRP demand that's coming, which will be driven by institutions rather than retail. Just to give you an idea of what that might look like, imagine retail being deeply impoverished and pursuing Bitcoin, and now consider institutions going for an effective utility token that will help them, since they are incredibly wealthy, right? There are two distinct groups of people interested in these assets: institutional demand, which is moving toward XRP, and retail peasants, who are merely watching newscasters discuss Bitcoin in an attempt to make a quick profit. That investor group is fine, but we'll get to that in a second. But take a listen to what Cathie Wood has to say. They discovered the contents of their private meeting. This indicates that we're not done yet, and in fact, the wirehouses that predominate among our clients in our industry are interesting, which is why Morgan Stanley employs all of the advisors at these warehouses. Stanley Morgan, none of them, including UBS Marion Lynch at BFA Wells Fargo, has authorized Bitcoin on its platform. It hasn't even happened yet, and they are our main clients. When it does, watch for the explosion. This has been interesting, but I believe there's an even greater wave coming in a few months as we start to see the main wirehouses turn. These are the wirehouses that make up the majority of our clients, so I believe a larger wave is on the horizon. Watch for the blast. Await it, because XRP is about to shock the world. Then he talks about Morgan Stanley and continues, saying that is going to blow apart. UBSW Fargo isn't even present. XRP's actual use case, which is driven by institutional demand, hasn't even begun yet. It's as if nothing has happened as of yet. And currently, 58C XRP. Examine everything. It all makes you want to chuckle. You would like to state that it has a very lengthy history of acting in this way. But in the end, astute people realized that for financial institutions and political bodies like the WF to embrace new technology, they will require extensive data and historical records on the infrastructure in question. It is not possible to create a technology and then run trillions of dollars through it with data that is only available for 5 years. Since 10 years old is still a pretty young age for them, it will take a very short time for them to even absorb the current level of technology. In my opinion, however, pay attention to what Matt Hugin says right now and simply listen. To mention the desire for Bitcoin, which is, as you may know, retail money. This is institutional money, after which I'll explain where XRP demand comes from. You can see that they are all aware of what is going to happen. Prepare. What has been influencing the Bitcoin market's price movement? To what extent are regular investors directly investing in Bitcoin, and to what extent is the ETF involved? Yes, a lot of it is definitely from the institutions in the ETF. That's an excellent query. The reason for the tremendous demand we're seeing in all of these ETFs, including the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF, is that all of those categories are available in retail. When investors enter these ETFs, they see hedge funds, RIAs, or independent financial advisors. I believe in a few months when the main wirehouses begin to operate, there will be an even bigger wave. Nonetheless, for now, this marks the beginning of a new age with Bitcoin's IPO. Of price discovery, and I believe that going forward, prices may rise significantly. Let's discuss possible destinations for them. I simply want to go back, please, just for a moment. Regarding the notion of who you believe is purchasing these ETFs, namely the proportion of retail versus institutions, yes. Indeed, while these ETFs aren't initially activated at the big wirehouses at the big institutions, the initial demand for any ETF, including these, comes from the retail and independent markets. I believe that hedge funds and financial advisors are the main cause of what we're experiencing, but let me explain. This meeting will usher in the next wave of institutional capital, as I'm taking a plane to speak with one of the biggest institutional consultants in the U.S. about this ETF. You brought up hedge funds, which I will classify as falling within an institutional or professional umbrella. What do you do about this major move? Money, in my opinion, is what's driven this. Or do you believe it to be retail as usual? I believe that both are true. It's both. If you consider Bitcoin before the ETFs there, it's just new demand. Was only available to a few groups of investors. Today, practically everyone may purchase it, and the dynamics of supply and demand are exactly without further ado. ETFs have bought 30,000 Bitcoins this week alone. Less than 3,000 Bitcoin miners have produced all of the currency, which is what's driving the price. Hedge funds, retailers, and the advisor community are also involved, so there will be significant demand for XRP. It's going to get insane. While everyone is preoccupied and chasing after Bitcoin, XRP's moment is coming. It's almost here, and a lot of people are going to be shocked when it does. But let me just quickly go over some differences between XRP and Bitcoin in plain English so you guys know that there will be a lot of demand for XRP and that its value will come from its ability to facilitate cheap and quick cross-border payments, if more banks and financial institutions adopt it. XRP as a bridge currency. You have all likely seen the bridge currency that was reported by a German newscaster, if you know what I mean. That gained widespread attention, but the need for XRP will force CDB to intervene in the world reserve bridge currency. When you combine all that has happened with Ripple, XRP, and XRP as the only digital asset that provides additional clarity, you don't have to be a genius to predict what's going to happen in this world, really. When it comes to pipelines, you see, it's not really solving a real-world use case. Rather, speculative perceptions of Bitcoin as digital gold and a store of value are what drives demand for the currency. And then, of course, liquidity. Without liquidity, this is the foundation of the financial system. It is not easy sailing for you. Infrastructure. Because XRP functions as a bridge currency, it needs to have a high level of liquidity to process big transactions quickly without having a substantial negative influence on the market price through a higher price per unit. Bigger transactions with less of an effect on the market can be supported by XRP, and for the last 10 years, Ripple has been building a network of institutions and payment providers, and I also refer to it as a network of trust. When XRP is used as a bridge currency on a Ripple network, it can automatically determine the most cost-effective way for money to get from the sender to the recipient. I find it incredible that humans are blind. Because they can now convert their local currency to XRP and then convert XRP to the recipient's local currency instantly, institutions using XRP as a British currency will be able to hold less liquidity in their new accounts. This is because depth and liquidity are essential when operating on a billion and even trillion-dollar scale. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, you need that to be deep. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, please know that I value every one of you. Please share your thoughts with me in the comments section below. And we'll make another video when we return. With the notion that cryptocurrency liquidity would someday be able to support robust global payments, outro began to cause waves. Huge payments rippled in a way that made the market sufficiently developed. The advantages of our fiber-based network may allow us to move to ODL, and this is precisely what is happening in the transition. I believe you are part of what we're building. I consider all of the tokens and know that it's fixing a genuine problem. Anyone would be able to appreciate their usefulness. If actual value and usefulness are being provided to actual customers, the token will have value.